that if you say something like the CAC 40, the biggest stocks in France, they have something like 20% French exposure. Now that's not zero French exposure, but people obviously are adding an extra risk premium to France at the moment, given the upcoming election, given all the political uncertainties about that. So I'm not surprised that you've seen a bit of a sell-off. And this is a market that has done well in recent years as well. So it's a market that's done well. Some of the companies are quite richly valued. But I would agree with you on one respect. They're not super French exposed. They're 80% outside of France. A lot of these are dollar earners as well, for example. So yes, I do think it's been a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to sell off all French stocks. And we would argue that the ones that are most vulnerable are small caps and domestic French names.
Talk to us about healthcare, because this is an area in Europe that you like. And if I look at the performance for healthcare, it's been very strong so far this year. Particular spike in recent weeks coming into June, but now sideways action just in the last fortnight or so. What is the future performance of healthcare going to deliver from here?
Yeah, look, we quite like healthcare overall. I think one of the reasons it's done very well in Europe is a particular company. Novo Nordisk has been the big cap in that index and has done extremely well. But I think overall, healthcare have some lovely characteristics at the moment. The companies generally have very good balance sheets. You would describe them as quality companies. If you're concerned about geopolitical risk, or indeed political risk generally, then this is a nice area which is generally a sector which is dollar earning, good balance sheets, high quality businesses. And if you Novo Nordisk is on one of its cheapest valuations in the last 10 years. So not particularly expensive either.
That is fascinating. What's and again, this is something I know that you can address as well, the valuation discount of European healthcare or European banks to the US as well. How do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, European healthcare is not on a huge discount to the US because you've also got a big company, the GLP-1 in the US and in Europe, for example. So there's not a huge valuation.
Even if you strip out Novo
If you
Nordisk.
strip out Novo, then Europe is on this discount.
Yeah.
And what was the other sector you mentioned? Energy,
Banks.
was it?
Banks. No, banks, because
banks.
You've already referenced them as well. Yeah.
Banks also, banks is definitely on a big discount, and you're a huge discount to its US peers. And of course, one of the reasons which has been highlighted in this last week or so is concerns about political risk and geopolitical risk. There is some reason for that discount, but the discount is so large now, it's 30 or 40%, and that's much bigger than history.
On that though, I've seen so many geniuses over the years plug in geopolitical risk into equity valuations, and they're mostly wrong. It's geopolitics and equities. It's very difficult to extrapolate X from Y, isn't it?
It is. It is very, very difficult. There's undoubtedly, though, when I speak to global clients, Asia clients, US clients about investing in Europe, one of the first things that comes up is political risk. So I do absolutely think this is one of the reasons for that gap in valuation between the two. It won't tell you each week what to invest in when it's going to go up or down, but I definitely think that gap between Europe and the US is not going to close. It might narrow a bit, which would be our view, but it won't close because of some of those risks, which is seen as more heightened for Europe.
The problem with some of the